was lyrical. It was like a perfect quote,
Mm.
almost too good to be true. And you're like,
Yeah.
how did she find all these incredible sources? But
Yeah.
we were kind of, we were so into the story that we wanted to believe. So she got the revise in, and Elizabeth, before kind of diving in one more time for a final edit, just decided to Google this woman's name again. Up popped a brand new story that had published the day before in a Toronto news outlet from a guy who had been pitched by this same woman,
Wow.
and then investigated all these things and came to discover that many of the stories that she had published in reputable places like New York Magazine and Vox and The Guardian had been fraudulent, that she had
Wow.
the sources that she had in those stories had never been contacted. And so she had just made up the quotes, and several of them said like, well, that sounds exactly like something I would have said, but I never actually talked to this journalist. So we think that Victoria was using AI to come up with story pitches. And what I think the prompt was she would take a, Outside Magazine, and she'd say, what would be a good pitch to Outside Magazine? And
Yeah.
AI would be able to digest all of their contents and say, like, here's an idea. Because the range of published stories that she had was incredible. No freelance journalist knows about this many topics in retrospect, now that I see it. But John, what was so interesting about this is the number of journalists or editors that have reached out to me that have either published a story by Victoria Goldie or who had been approached by her at some point. And so I think it's increasingly this huge challenge for editors to figure out like what's real and what's not. And so much of that comes down to these relationships.